Good afternoon, Tyler.
Good afternoon.
Thanks for being here and for sitting in on the Afro Technologist.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
So Tyler, just a few questions for our viewers. If you could introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about what it is you do.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Tyler Todd. I'm an attorney practicing out of the state of Utah from the U.S. And we have law offices throughout the state of Utah and California. And I'm the managing partner for our law firm that's One Law. And we started that law firm in 2010. And I'm also the managing partner for the Cochran firm. Yeah, and so One Law was founded in 2010 with the idea of providing a unique experience to clients and a branding opportunity for lawyers. There's so many law offices that follow the traditional model of the law offices of, or Smith, Jones and Associates, and I think that's international, what I've discovered. And so we wanted to brand law, hence the name One Law with our logo and our brand, and so we wanted to be unique and different and market in a different way. And then approximately 4 years ago, we knew that we needed a widget to also deliver to lawyers that might use our brand to market their services. And so we developed a virtual legal services platform through a mobile application.
Okay.
And we founded the company One Law Legal Technologies.
Okay, so One Law Legal Technologies. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Yeah, hearing law and technologies. Very curious if you could tell us a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great question. With legal technology advancements throughout the world, obviously a huge access to justice issue, not just in the United States, but around the world. Technology is now being implemented to deliver legal services in a more efficient way, in a more cost-effective way, to hopefully reduce barriers to the entry of legal services. Most people, I think, simply don't use the legal system, particularly in the United States, because of the financial barriers that the legal system presents, the lack of confidence in the legal system, and that's simply just not either having a bad experience with a lawyer or not knowing a lawyer. And so we decided that there has to be a better way to create better consumer confidence, greater accessibility to lawyers in the legal system, and so we've done that and are doing that through technology, and that's the application and the platform that we've built. And so that's kind of our goal, our mission throughout the world, to create better access to justice, not just in the United States, but around the world.
Okay, great. So yeah, you mentioned indeed kind of the breaking down of this barrier or this fear or stigma that comes with approaching a law firm. Most cases, maybe you're in trouble, or if it is a firm, maybe you're a small business or a startup, and you're trying to look for some legal advice on establishing, let's say, a tech company in Utah, and I'm browsing on the web, and I come across, this One Law doesn't look like a traditional name of a law firm, but I click on it and see it, to my surprise, this is cool. I'm on the page of One Law, they offer legal services. What would be next, whether I wanted to get in touch with one of your associates, or you mentioned that you have a artificial intelligence tool.
We do.
Could you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, it's a great question. So when a consumer is looking for legal services, and we've broken down approximately 9 general areas of the law that most consumer law fits within, right? We're talking personal injury, bankruptcy, estate planning, criminal law, family law. Most consumers around the world fall within those categories of general consumer law. So when, for example, someone's spouse may have been arrested, and they say, I need a criminal defense lawyer, who do I call? Well, what we provide is the opportunity then, when they Google criminal defense lawyer, One Law pops up, and they have the ability either to download our app or find a web-based version and to connect with a lawyer on demand via video or text.
Video as well.
As well.
Oh, wow.
And so then what we determined is we believe that most legal problems, or at least questions, can be addressed within a matter of minutes.
Right.
Now, it may not solve all the problems, of course, but at least that individual can have some immediate comfort and guidance within a 15-minute call or video call to at least have some simple, basic legal questions answered, and then make appropriate decisions on how to pursue that particular legal need that they have. And so that's hopefully going to reduce barriers. It's going to enable lawyers to do what they do best, which is provide legal services,
Right.
with the opportunity to identify and find new clients. And we've also done that through artificial intelligence.
Okay.
And so we believe that everyone should have vital legal documents, a will, a power of attorney, maybe a trust package. Those things that every individual around the world should have. And so we've offered that for free via DocuBot. And DocuBot is our AI machine learning tool that automates forms such as a will, power of attorney, and those types of documents, and then enables the lawyer then to offer those particular forms, because a lot of lawyers may not like the will that we have in DocuBot. And so we say, okay, so we built Botaneer, and Botaneer then enables the lawyer then to provide those forms via bot, chatbot, and form automation, and to offer whatever forms he or she offers to their clients. And so it promotes activity on the platform. It promotes greater accessibility to legal documents that everyone should have, and hopefully then promotes that consumer confidence in the legal system.
Okay, great. As you were explaining that, 3 questions came to mind. So you mentioned access to justice. Access to justice, then my next question would be, what are the costs? You said you have an app that you can download. Is it a free app? And then after following, let's say, step 2, step 3 now, are any of the initial first consulting services free? I mean, yeah, the legal billing model is a bit worrisome and scary for some people.
Absolutely.
So if you could talk about what you do.
You bet, and I agree with that, because most consumers, I would argue, that billable model, that entry point to even access a lawyer is either they have the misperception that it's too high, or it is too high.
Yeah.
And it prevents them either way. So the documents that a consumer can find when he or she downloads our app and accesses DocuBot, those are all free.
Oh, great.
They're all free.
Yeah.
And if they have a question as they're filling out automatically with DocuBot a will, they then can access a lawyer on demand for free.
Okay.
So when you ask about the cost, it is a subscription-based model for the attorneys.
Okay.
And the attorneys pay a subscription, and in the event that attorney engages the client for additional legal services, or legal services for that matter, then that is an agreement between that attorney and that client, of which we do not partake any of those monies.
Okay.
So we believe that as a result, I think it incentivizes lawyers to be on the app. It incentivizes consumers to use the app. It creates that bridge between the two, and eliminates the middleman. We want to be the medium to create that greater access to justice. And so to answer your first question, we believe that by doing so, more people can have access to lawyers, can have simple legal questions answered. More lawyers will have more clients and have greater and more effective communication with their clients. And then that justice that we all seek, hopefully, is more attainable.
Attainable indeed. So is this platform limited to the attorneys within one law, or if I'm a registered lawyer practicing out of New York, can I access this platform?
Absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely.
fantastic.
It's
Yeah.
free and available to everybody. Now, of course, if you want to be a lawyer on the platform, with a bio and the ability to receive calls and texts and participate in that way, yes, then we verify that you're a lawyer in New York and that you're in good standing, and we do our due diligence in that regard.
Okay.
And then we work out the subscription agreement, and of course, there's a number of different tools that we have within the app that are additional cost. But that's generally how it works. And so we want to make it more accessible. We want to make it more known to more lawyers. And it's not limited to those in New York or the United States. We have lawyers in Germany. We have lawyers in Brazil. We have lawyers in Singapore. We have lawyers in the Middle East, here in the Netherlands and the UK. So there's a lot of, we believe the application is not just a national to the United States, but it's international, because unfortunately the same problems exist throughout the world. And we believe that the One Law brand has greater appeal to everyone, not just those in the United States.
I like that. It's kind of, let's say, it's kind of decentralized access to justice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's exactly
Yeah.
what it is.
And if you don't mind sharing about how many lawyers are using your platform, if you could share.
At the moment, worldwide, we're approximately 1,200.
Wow, 1,200, fantastic. Yeah.
And growing hopefully every day and every month, and as the platform and the network grows, of course, I believe then obviously the consumer profitability, meaning their ability to have greater access to lawyers, goes up.
Great. All right, well, thanks for sharing that. One of the morning sessions on coding for lawyers. It's also a module that we offer at Tilburg University in the Netherlands in our LLM for International Business Law. And now I think in the last 3-4 years, I think I've been hearing a lot and reading a lot about code, and second, whether there's any significance in lawyers needing to learn how to code. All my questions to that were answered last year when I was in the LLM program and actually took part in the first cohort of Coding for Lawyers. So it's been great being on the other side and being able to share that knowledge with the students that we taught this year and to speak here at the Global Legal Forum. Mm-hmm. However, over the last 3 days and even at dinner, the sentiment from at least some of the young law students that have been here and young legal professions has been, okay, yeah, that's interesting. It would be great if we had this at our firm, or how can I get involved in learning lines of code? What language should I learn? And then on the other side, I'd say some of the other more established lawyers that have been practicing for longer thinking, well, why do lawyers need to code? It's a bit unnecessary. Leave the coding to the coders. My question to you is, what is your take on lawyers learning at least some fundamental understanding of reading lines of code? Maybe you have experience in how you developed your AI tool. Could you share your thoughts and insights on that?
You bet. First of all, to answer your question, and it's obviously multifaceted, my response, I think lawyers at the moment, right, because coding at my age, it's still a bit of a enigma. What does it really mean? What is coding? And I think a lot of lawyers, maybe 40 and older, you say, do you know how to code? And probably the answer is no, right? And I would even say most lawyers, regardless of their age, do you know how to code? And the answer is probably no.
Probably, yeah.
So is it necessary as a practical matter? No, not at the moment, right? Because even though we have built a blockchain, AI, machine learning tool in our app to promote greater access to justice, I don't know how to code. To your second question, do lawyers need to know how to code? Would it be advantageous? I think absolutely the answer is yes. And the reason why is because blockchain as a decentralized ledger, immutable, right?
Right.
With hopefully increased application in a number of fields, and primarily our topic is law.
Right.
Is there blockchain products being used in law? I think the answer generally is not very many. There are some, and it's starting to increase, but not very many. But as the number of products using blockchain technology increases, I think the lawyers have to know some level of coding, because once that is implemented onto the blockchain, the smart contracts, for example, they have to know that the terms of the smart contract being put on that blockchain protocol are in fact the terms of the underlying agreement.
Right.
Right?
Precisely.
So if the lawyer is not familiar with the coding, then how does the lawyer ensure that the interests of his or her client are being protected? Because, oh, you say, oh, it's on the blockchain. Well, is it right? And is it accurate? And does it incorporate all of the terms and provisions that we negotiated?
Mm-hmm.
So as a practical matter, to this point, no. Moving forward, as we have greater number of applications on the blockchain and technology, I believe that answer is going to be yes.
Right.
And have I been involved with our coding? And no.
No. Okay.
I leave all of that to our IT and developers, and they're brilliant at what they do. I tell them what we want, and my partner and CEO, he tells them what we want and how we want certain things implemented and how we want it to look from the perspective of the lawyer, because it's a tool for lawyers, built by lawyers.
Mm-hmm.
But I unfortunately, I don't know how to code. I'm familiar with it. I'm familiar with the languages of it. I wouldn't be able to write a line of code, but I think lawyers moving forward, as the application of blockchain becomes increasingly more used, the answer to your question is yes.
Yes.
I think they need to know how to code.
Okay, it's nice to hear that. And I mean, if we think back using the theme at the World Economic Forum this year, the fourth industrial revolution, it's nice to hear a lawyer. Yeah, I would, if I was to guess, I would not classify or put you in the group of the older lawyers.
Thank you for that.
Good genes. But I would say that looking at the fourth industrial revolution, looking at Gartner's hype cycle and where blockchain, AI, and IoT fall, I think, and I would agree with you that lawyers will have a crucial role in this fourth industrial revolution and in the involvement in building the products that are going to be used today, tomorrow, the products that our kids are going to be using. I'll be a dad next month.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But, or the products that your kids are going to be using. It would be useful, indeed, I think, for, as a lawyer, to take part in this ecosystem and building the next generation of products, blockchain products, and being able to speak a coder's language, so to say, just to make sure that, as you brought up, everything that is mentioned in the agreement is actually coded and rightfully in its right spot. And I think my experience learning how to code and teaching it, it's similar to logic, indeed. So it could be a skill. We're not asking lawyers to be full stack developers or to become completely, because that's its own separate study.
Sure.
But indeed, it sounds like we can agree that it's a useful skill to add to your repertoire or your tool kit as a lawyer.
I agree with that, and I think it's like a language, right? And I think we can all benefit from learning new languages.
Indeed.
If one can learn how to at least have some basic premises of the code and of the language, it would behoove that particular lawyer tremendously, because it's another skill that that particular lawyer offers to his or her client. And so at some point, as technological advances continue to increase and where you have more and more blockchain products, who knows, it may be an issue of, wait, you don't know how to code. Is that a liability issue? Do you need to at least be familiar with it? Now the ABA has come out and said lawyers need to be more They have to be technologically savvy and with the protection of cybersecurity of client documents and confidentiality and communication tools. So I think the law imposes a duty on lawyers to do that
Right.
to some degree. And I think you're right. Full stack developers, no, but
Yeah.
to have some familiarity, probably.
Sure.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Okay, great. Well then, with that, that wraps up our session for today. Tyler, it's been great having you here. Maybe, I'm sure we'll see each other at some future
I hope
events.
so. Yeah.
But if there is interest, and at some point you do get back to the office and you think, actually, maybe we do want to have a workshop for our lawyers on learning how to code, we'd be happy to collaborate and work
Absolutely.
something out.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Todd.